Hello, welcome to the video for Tuesday, October 27th for interactive design. I let you guys into the room. Hello.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's new?
It's cold.
Yeah, that's new. That is new for Tucson. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it just sneaks up on you, huh? All of a sudden, it's just freaking cold. Trevor says, thankfully it's cold. Yeah, that's nice. It's so funny how the cold just changes the whole feeling of everything, you know? It's almost like it's a whole different season or something. Okay, well, let me put you guys in the attendance and then we can go from there. So Pima.dreamco, oh no, Pima.edu. Pima.edu. Okay, attendance. All right, so now we're going to teach. Whoa, what happened, Pima? Your webpage is screwed up. Okay, attendance tracking. Interactive design. And there we have it. Okay, cool. All right, boom. Okay, so let's see. If my records are correct, then Thursday is when our project is due, right? Sounds right? Okay. So let's start with asking if anybody has any issues with their project or anything they want to show us for feedback or anything of that nature. Any guys want to share anything and talk about it at all?
All my stuff is like inside the project that I've done.
You what?
All the stuff I've done has just been like inside the project, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Let's see. So it looks like everybody else is okay. If there's no questions or anything, then we can move on to the next thing. We do have a tutorial to work on today. Let me go to the website, Pima.dreamco, interactive design. Okay, let me share my screen here. Come on, screen, share, damn you. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. So today we have this tutorial here, creating an HTML5 expandable banner ad. And so I'm going to click on that and go to this page here. So what you guys will need to do is go to this page and click on this Get Files button. You'll need to download these files for this and then unzip them. And then get this folder, HTML5 expandable banner. And then we get this file right here that we can open. Now it looks like it's not gonna have the correct fonts, but that's okay. We'll just hit okay. We can live with the incorrect fonts. All right, and then let's see, which one of these does it? Is it this one? Center stage, that didn't work. Okay, looks like, okay, there's the ad right there, okay. So it should look something like this, your screen. And then let's go in here and maybe start the video and see what the heck is going on.
Hi there. Welcome to this tutorial on creating expandable banners using Adobe Animate. In this video, you'll learn how to make one for yourself. Before we start, let's look at what we're trying to create. Here's an expandable banner for an airline called Sky High. This is how our banner looks in the collapsed position and when it's fully expanded. Creating an expandable banner like this is a 5-stage process. The first step is to construct a mask. Open your animation and create a mask the size of the closed banner on frame 1. We want our banner to expand from left to right, so we'll place our rectangle on the top left corner. Next, we have to define the size of the fully expanded banner.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. It looks to me, let's see what we have right here. Control test movie in browser. Okay. Well, it looks like we've got the entire working thing here. So that makes it a little bit more of a challenge to try and make it work, but I guess we could disable parts of it and see if we can get it to be able to rebuild it. Because it looks like right now, like it's completely working, but let's see. He has this layer here, which is called mask, which is what that whole thing is right there. I think if I turn it off, let's see. Yeah. So that's the mask layer right there. So I'm going to try and experiment. What happens if I throw this mask layer away? So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to hit delete layers. Okay, so now there is no longer a mask on there. So then I'm going to go back to the video. And well, let's see, where is the video here? Nope, not there. Where's the damn video? Here, okay. And then I'm going to go back a little and see if we can follow him and create the mask. So let's see.
Expand from left to right. So we'll place our rectangle on the top left corner. Next, we have to define the size of the fully expanded banner.
Okay, so let's start by deleting that mask layer. And then what will happen is right where that mask layer was, so in other words, right above the flight layer, let's click this plus symbol here to make a new layer, and let's name this mask. Okay, now click on the first frame, and then do you see this little blue area right here? Let's make a rectangle that is essentially that size. You can make it blue if you want. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag this thing out so it's approximately that size. Okay, that's going to make our mask. And then let's see what he says next.
So we'll place our rectangle on the top left corner. Next, we have to define the size of the fully expanded banner and create a transition between the closed and open positions using Shape Tween.
Okay, let's see. So the weird thing about this is it looks like the width says 300, but that doesn't seem like it could be anywhere near correct.
And create a transition between the closed and open positions using Shape Tween.
Wow. Okay. I'm kind of disappointed in this tutorial because he's not really helping us do this. And I feel like it may not work out the way we want it to. Let's see. I'll give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, we'll just watch what he's doing. But it seems like he should really help us out.
So we'll place our rectangle on the top left corner. Next, we have to define the size of the fully expanded banner and create a transition between the closed and open positions using Shape Tween. Now that we've instructed Adobe Animate how to expand the banner, we have to tell it how to collapse the banner.
Okay, all right, so now I see what he's doing. So what we want to do is, and it doesn't really matter what size you make your first square, that's fine right there. And then what you want to do is go down to the right. Let's see. What we want to do is stay on this first layer right here, the first frame, and right click and do create shape tween. Okay, now go down to your final, let's see, I don't know that we turn that into a symbol or not, so we'll see if this works. I don't know if it will or not. We'll figure it out. Click on the very last frame, right click and insert a keyframe. All right, now click on your free transform tool and make sure you can see the whole ad. Now grab, hold down your shift key. God, maybe it's the option key now. Let's see. Yeah, hold down your option or alt key and grab the right hand side and drag the box so that it completely covers the whole pasteboard there. In other words, the whole ad. Do the same thing by holding down your option or alt key on the bottom and drag that down to the bottom there like that. Okay. Now, this gives us an opportunity to talk about shape tweens. So a shape tween, a motion tween is kind of like a classic motion tween. It's kind of misnamed because it's not just motions. A motion tween will handle almost any kind of transformation, whether it's rotation, scale, movement from one position to another, right? But if you want to take a vector shape, like this box that we drew as a vector shape, and transform it into another vector shape, you can do a shape tween. And so in other words, you could take a circle and make it transition into a square if you want it, and that would be with a shape tween. So all we did here was we drew a box that had a certain size and width, and then we right-clicked and said, you know, create shape tween. We went down to the end of this timeline and created a new keyframe, which is another version of the box. And then we resized it to cover the entire, the full-blown animation, right? So what happens now is, you know, during the course of this, you know, animation, this whole box gets big enough to reveal the animation. Now, if we made this a mask, then it would become, you know, we called it a mask, but just naming something a mask doesn't actually make it a mask. You have to actually right click on it and choose the mask feature, right? So if we make this a mask, it will in essence become a window, which as it opens will show the ad below it. So we're on the right track as far as that stuff goes. So let's see what's next. So he just, you know, expanded his thing there. So we're in good position here.
Note, the collapse process starts when the animation ends. We've defined how our banner opens and closes. All we need to do is convert this layer into a mask and bring all the other layers under it.
Okay, so it's interesting because he put a couple of extra keyframes in here on the mask layer, and I'm not certain what his intention was with those. I'm going to go back to the original. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre that he did that. It almost looks like one of them is the mask opening and one's closing, but that can't be it because there's a close feature in the mask. So I guess we'll find out soon enough, you know, whether this works or not. We can always go back and change the mask. Anyway, what you want to do is right click on the mask layer and choose mask. All right. And then you want to take the flight layer underneath it is automatically going to get indented under it. But you want to select every other layer below that, shift click on them, and then take them and drag them up and to the right until they all become the same level, straight lined up with the flight layer. In other words, they're all indented underneath mask. And so now when that box opens up, it's going to reveal everything. In other words, everything is hidden until that window opens up. Now, you can't really see the mask working here. If we were to test it, we would see the mask working, and of course, the mask should just work. There won't be anything that triggers it. Oh, let's see. There is something that triggers it. It's already being triggered by my mouse. So I guess that functionality has been built into it already. Okay, well, let's see what he wants us to do next.
Let's preview our work. Click on the lock icon to activate the mask.
Oh, he says, click on the lock icon to activate the mask. All right. So, well, everything is locked. So what happens if we hit play in here? Oh, if you hit play, it opens the mask, but of course we can't reveal anything in here. We can see it in the browser though, which is what we just did. Okay. I'm not sure why he can see it, but we're not able to see it. Let me see what else is going on in ours. Not quite sure. Okay, let's go finish this little tutorial here.
As you can see, the mask works. Well done. Next, we have to figure out how users should interact with a banner. They can either click on the ad or mouse over it to open the banner. We'll show you how to activate a banner with a mouse over. Add a layer for a button.
Okay, so I think that the reason that the ad is working already is because when we opened it up, it was a working ad. And so what we're going to have to do now is delete these very top two layers called actions and buttons in order to rebuild them so that we can make it work. So in other words, if you select those top two layers and hit the trash can, it'll get rid of them. Now, if I test this out in the browser now, yeah, this is what I thought would happen. So what happens is in the browser, when you test it, that animated mask, in other words, that window that's opening, it just opens automatically because there's nothing to stop it, right? Okay, so let's see what happens next.
And create a rectangle in the same dimensions as the closed banner.
Okay, so we got to make a new layer called buttons and create a rectangle the same size as the closed banner. All right, so we're going to make a new layer, call it buttons. We're going to create a rectangle. You might want to change the color just so it's easy for you to differentiate between this and the other one. Okay, and we're going to click and drag out this rectangle so it's the same size as the closed banner.
This ensures users can mouse over any part of a closed banner to activate it. Convert this shape into a button. Since users will activate the button with a mouse over, it should be invisible.
Okay, so now we're going to click on this object here, go modify, convert to symbol, name it full screen underscore BTN, and for the type, make it a button. And then hit OK. Oh, it says the name full screen button is already taken. And that's because, once again, this was a working project when we opened it. So let's call it full screen button 2 and then hit OK. All right, there we go.
Do that by moving the state to hit. Select the button.
Okay, so now we have to make it so that the button itself will be activated when somebody either rolls over it or mouses over it. So what we have to do is double click on the button, and then we've got up, over, down, and hit. Now he says that if you take the button and you drag it over here, I don't like the idea of dragging it over. My suggestion is you right click on the hit state and do insert keyframe. Yeah, I like that better. So what happens is that puts the button into the hit state there, the hit area, and that means that the entire button becomes the active area of the button. So whenever anybody rolls over or clicks on any part of it, it will be activated. Okay, so once again, right click on the hit state and hit insert keyframe.
And add an instance name to it. Let's check our work.
Okay, so now you can get out of this screen here by going back to scene 1. You can click on the button on the stage and you have to give it an instance name. So I'm going to call mine full screen underscore BTN2. It's okay to give it the same name as what you call the symbol. All right, let's see what he's doing here.
Notice how the button is visible throughout the banner's expansion? That's not right. It should only be visible at the start. Fix this by inserting a blank keyframe in frame 2.
Okay, so we don't want the button to be visible after they click on it. So we're going to click on frame 2 of the button layer. We're going to right click and do insert blank keyframe. And so what that'll do, it'll just make the button basically exist in the very first frame. And then as soon as we click on it and tell it to, move forward, thereby allowing the mask to expand, the button will disappear. Okay, let's see.
Now that we've created a button that opens the banner, we have to create another button that closes the banner. Insert a keyframe at the end of the animation and
okay, so what you want to do is come down here to, it looks like frame 50, and right click on the button layer and do insert keyframe. Now this is where this is why I think he put extra keyframes in this mask layer, because I think he had one that opened it up from here to here, and then possibly one that closes it from here to here. But we'll find out, because like I said, if it doesn't work, we'll just go put in extra keyframes. Okay, but anyway, we inserted the keyframe at 50.
create a close button.
Wait, okay, now he wants us to create a close button. So let me see if he's got that in the library right now. So we're going to go to the library. Yep, it looks like there's something called close button. So what you can do is click on that and drag it onto your screen, and take that and put it up in the top right corner. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Let's see. You're going to have to open your ad completely. Drag the playback head all the way down to the end in order to see where the top right corner is. And then you're going to have to put your close button over there. Okay, and let's see what he's doing with the close button.
Closes the banner. Insert a keyframe at the end of the animation and create a close button.
Okay, so next, now he created his close button from scratch and we just used his existing one. But if we double click on the close button itself, you'll see that he did the same thing here that I did, which is he right clicked on the hit state and inserted a keyframe so that the entire close button becomes an active area. So we should be good there with that close button. Now, the one thing we don't have is a instance name for the close button. And I suspect he's going to call it close, let's see, maybe lowercase, close underscore BTN2 would be the instance name that I would give to that close button. Okay.
Name the instance. Now, let's ensure that the button is only visible at the end of the animation.
Okay, so same trick that he did before, putting a blank keyframe after this so that it's not visible any other time. So what we're going to do here is go to animate, click on frame 51 of that buttons layer and insert a blank keyframe. Okay, now I am getting kind of paranoid about these extra buttons or these extra keyframes that he has in the mask layer. And I'm wondering if I might be able to fix it by doing something like this. If I clicked on this very last keyframe here on the mask layer and dragged it over so it was above these other buttons here, what that would mean is that in this period of time, that's how long it takes to keep the frame open, right? Or to open the mask, and then it stays open, right? Now, if I were able to copy this keyframe here, well, let's see. Now, the thing is, though, that what would need to happen here is the opposite. In other words, we'd have to go from this big shape to the little shape. So in other words, if I, let's see, I'm just going to take a stab at this and see if it works. I'm going to go down now to 50, and I'm going to right click, I'm going to insert a keyframe. And what that will do is it will insert the open keyframe, right? Now what I'm going to do is click on frame 1, right click and do, what do I want to do? I want to do copy frames. So that's frame 1 on the mask layer. And I'm going to go all the way down to frame 60 and right click and say paste frames. Okay, and it looks like it worked. So in other words, what I did was I made it so that the opening of this opens between 1 and frame 18, and then it will stay open until frame 50. And then I basically pasted it in the opposite direction so that it's open and then it's closed by 60. Now, of course, if we just let this play, this thing's going to open, it's going to stay open for a while, and then it's just automatically going to close. But if we put an action script that tells it when to open and close, then we'll be okay. So we set that up so that it does open and close. Now we just have to put in the action script that tells it, what triggers that. I'm pretty sure that's the way he wants us to do it.
Let's preview again. It works. To understand the next step, let's preview our work in a browser. You'll notice that the banner opens and closes by itself in an endless loop. That's not quite right. It should only open and close when users interact with it. Let's fix that. Create an actions layer.
Okay, so now we're going to add the actions that will trigger all that stuff. So click on your button layer and then click on the plus symbol up here, make a new layer and call it actions.
Use the wizard to ensure the animation stops in the first frame so that the banner only opens when users place their mouse over it.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is add a stop action to the first frame so that when the movie plays, it'll basically stop on frame 1. Okay, so we're going to click on the first frame of the actions layer. We're going to open actions. We're going to open our code snippets by clicking on these little icons right here. In the code snippets, we're going to open HTML5 canvas. We're going to open timeline navigation, and we're going to double click stop at this frame. And it will put in this. Now, of course, this is just a comment up here that tells you what you're doing. Remember, HTML5 uses JavaScript, which is a little different than ActionScript. And so in JavaScript, you have to say this.stop instead of just stop, and then the parentheses and the semicolon. Now that should stop the playhead at frame 1.
Greg, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between the wizard and code snippets, or are they the same thing?
They are essentially the same thing. The wizard makes you walk through a series of choices that kind of is, it's almost like a tutorial in and of itself. It tells you what you can do and gives you options. And code snippets would be more like if you know exactly what you want to do and you can go straight there and do it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we put in the stop command. What's next? Okay. So the next thing that he did in his ridiculously fast way is he turned the button into a mouse over. So he said, stage enable mouse over, this full screen button on, mouse over. Okay, so let's see. Let me back up a little bit and see what he did that. We'll probably have to do this one with the wizard using his same techniques.
To ensure the animation stops in the first frame so that the banner only opens when users place their mouse over it.
Okay, so then the next thing he did, this guy goes too fast.
Animation stops in the first frame so that the banner only opens when users place their mouse over it.
Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and use the wizard for this next part. So you can click after this stop, right? Get your mouse down, your cursor after this stop, and then click add using wizard. Now, go ahead and hit the word play. And then we're going to have to go slow and just go one at a time through his little tutorial here, what he's doing. So he hit play, and then what does he do next? Okay, then he hit this timeline. So click that, and then hit next.
Oh.
Okay, next he's gonna do on mouse over, right? And then you have to click the name that you gave to that button. And the name that I gave to my button was full screen BTN2. So click that. And then click finish and add in the lower right corner. So if we look at this code here, we put in our stop action, right? And then the code that we just put in via the wizard is it enabled a mouse over. It's kind of like adding in Flash, we used to do things called add event listeners. But in JavaScript, you're enabling a mouse over. And then it says, take this object, which is called full screen button 2, and on the mouse over, go ahead and do, perform a function. And the function is to go ahead and play this mouse over, right? Now it says play a movie clip video or the current timeline. Now my concern about this is we made our button into a button symbol, but I guess we'll find out what's going to happen because he made his into a button symbol too. Okay, so anyway, we have done that code that he asked us to do. So let's see what happens next.
Let's use the wizard again to put a stop at the end of the animation so that the banner only closes when users click on the close button. Welcome to this tutorial.
Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong place. Okay, so now what it looks like he did is he went down to, I believe it was frame 50, and on the actions layer, right-clicked and inserted a blank keyframe, and then used his actions window and his code snippets to insert a stop command here. So basically just double click on the stop and the timeline navigations at 50. All right, and then I'm sorry, but I have to, let's see, go here again, let's see. Where are you, Mr.?
Stage is required to ensure that the banner HTML wrapper end of the animation so that the banner only closes when users click on the close button.
Okay, so now he's going to put another piece of code in here to make the close button work.
Wizard again to put a stop at the end of the animation so that the banner only closes when users click on the close button.
Okay, so here we go. So next we're going to start with the wizard again. So you want to click after this stop. You want to click add using wizard. Okay, and then let's see what he's doing here. I can't see because my play button's right over.
Wizard again to put a stop at the end of the animation so that the banner only closes when users click on the close button.
Okay, next we got to go choose play, this timeline, and then next.
End of the animation so that the banner only closes when users click on the close button.
Okay, and then next would be on mouse click, and then whatever you named your close button, I named mine close button 2, and then click finish and add. Okay, and then this is the exact same type of code that we did before. We're asking it to go ahead and play the animation from this point, which of course should close the animation.
Let's preview.
Okay, now we got to test it out and cross our fingers. See what happens. Okay, so I made mine green. You know, he made his blue, which is just fine. And then when you roll over it, it does expand, or at least mine did. And then if you go over here and you click on the close button, yep, sure enough, it does close. Now, of course, this would look better if that was a blue, or even better, instead of just a blue, if it was a graphic, like a graphic with that blue background with maybe the plane on it, or something that looked kind of intriguing that you would want to click on, something that said click here, right? Okay, let's see what his next comment is.
The banner works as it should. The next stage is required to ensure that the banner works well on marketing platforms such as Google DoubleClick or Seismic. Marketing platforms such as Google Double.
Okay, this next part we're definitely not going to do, but did you guys get your banners to work? Some of you, anybody? Sort of? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, so now let's just watch this last part. So if you did make an ad like this, you would want to put in all of this extra code that would make it so it would work if Google was placing this ad on somebody's website. Now, Google Ads is one of the most popular platforms for putting ads on websites. And there's also something called DoubleClick, which is another agency. And I'm not sure if Google bought DoubleClick or not. But this next point we're just going to watch, and this next part, and he's just going to tell us how you would go about putting the code in for this.
Let's preview. The banner works as it should. The next stage is required to ensure that the banner works well on marketing platforms such as Google DoubleClick or Seismic. Marketing platforms such as Google DoubleClick provide pre-approved templates, which we need to integrate into an Animate HTML wrapper. The first step is to download the right template from the Google Rich Media Gallery template database. In parallel, we need to export and animate HTML wrapper. Open both files in a text editor. The Google template is on the left. Extract code from the Google template and place it in the Animate HTML wrapper. We're done with the Google template, so you can close it. Open the JavaScript file and remove unnecessary code. It may take a couple of minutes. Take your time and do it carefully. With that done, we can take the code from the JavaScript file and place it into the Animate HTML wrapper. Before we can go to the next step, we need to tweak some code on the Animate HTML wrapper. Next, we need to ensure that Google DoubleClick can track when users open or close the ad. To do this, let's copy script from the Animate HTML wrapper to the Actions panels of the appropriate frames. Google DoubleClick can now track when users interact with the banner, but not when users click on the Call to Action button. Let's do that. We're now ready to publish. It's a good practice to create a profile because they can be reused the next time you create a similar banner. Import the Animate HTML wrapper and publish. You'll find an HTML and a JavaScript file in our project folder. Our banner is ready to upload to Google DoubleClick. Great job! Before we can upload our file to Google DoubleClick, we need to create a backup image of the banner in a collapsed position. This is what Google DoubleClick will use if the banner doesn't work as it's supposed to. Zip all the files we just exported plus the backup image. Upload the zipped file into your DoubleClick Studio account. In the following screen, input the URL where users will be directed when they click on the call to action. Finally, enter the width and height of the expanded banner. Check if it works. It does. Excellent. On the next screen, we can publish. You now know how to create an expandable banner using Adobe Animate. The good news is you also have a sample template you can download that has all the code you need to create an expandable banner of your own. Good luck.
Thanks, we'll need it. Okay, so, all that crazy coding he did at the end, that was just kind of nuts. But the gist of what happened was, okay, clearly Google has bought DoubleClick because it's called Google DoubleClick. So between Google and Facebook, you probably have all the 98% of the advertising on the internet. So what he has here, you can go get a Google DoubleClick account, which is what we're in right now. And once you have that, then you can upload your ads to it. But in order for the ads to work, you have to use their templates. So what he did was he found the appropriate template. He opened it up in an HTML editor like Dreamweaver. And then he cut the parts out of the Adobe Animate file that he needed, and he stuffed them into the Google DoubleClick ad template. Now, he clearly has a lot of knowledge about all of the JavaScript code, what belongs in there, what doesn't, and so he was able to very quickly do that. But it would take some study to figure out exactly what should and shouldn't go in there. And there's probably some tutorials that Google has prepared just for that purpose. But anyway, when he was all done, he was able to upload it and hit OK. And what happens in a case like that is, you know, the ad will run, but you become one of two parties when you're interfaced with Google. You're either the party that is paying to play the ad, or you're the party that gets paid to have the ad on your website. So, and Google works both ways. Since there's people who want to advertise, and since there's people who want ads on their website, if you have your own website, you can create a Google account, and then you can put some code in there which will bring ads in from Google, such as this. Or if you just want to make an ad and have it be show up on other people's websites, you can place that in Google, and then it will go play on specific websites, targeted websites, like in this case, maybe travel sites, so that people could see that information about the airline or whatever they were advertising. And then let's look at those options here. So Google AdWords. Okay. Let's see. So Google AdWords, it looks like they have absolutely no information on this page here, except a phone number where you can call an ad specialist, and they'll kind of walk you through the process. Let's click on how Google Ads work. So basically, they're telling you once again to call their people, but basically you figure out your goal. You know, what do you want to be the result of these ads? You have to figure out where you want to advertise, which is, do you want it to be local? Do you want it to be global? Do you want it to be national? You have to create your ad, which is the part we're doing, you know, in Adobe Animate. Now, this is also interesting. You have to set your ads budget. Now, what happens is when you create an ad that Google is going to display on other websites, you create basically a monthly budget for that advertisement. Like, let's just use a round number. So let's say that there's 30 days in that month, and your ad budget for that month is $300. That means your ad budget is $10 a day, right? Now, what happens is you go ahead and you move this little slider and you say, I want to spend $10 a day on my ad, right? Which means Google's going to debit your credit card $300 every month. Now, what that means is Google will show your ad as many times as necessary until you've hit that, until you've used up your $10 worth of advertising fees, right? And, you know, they'll give you the data that will tell you, you know, right here, it'll say, you know, your ad will play, 20 times during the day, and you should expect 1 or 2 clicks from that, and maybe get 1 call, or, you know, or 1 purchase or something. They'll tell you how many people will see it. They'll tell you what they think, how many people will probably click on it. And then, of course, you'll know how many people came to your site and bought stuff, right? And they'll give you a report at the end of the month that will tell you all that information as well. And then once you've got everything all set up, they've got your credit card. You filled out a form that says, you know, who your audience is, what your monthly budget or what your daily budget is. They'll just automatically start showing it. And then you'll start getting statistics, right, about that right away. So that's Google Ads. And that is, let's see, like I said, you have, this is Google Ads, which used to be called Google AdWords. And that was just, you know, to put ads on other people's websites. Now there's this other thing called AdSense. And if you click on AdSense, AdSense is where it's the opposite. It's where you have people put ads on your website. So let's say that Spike decided he wanted to advertise a new business selling hats, right? So he started a Google Ads account, and then he made his Adobe Animate ad, and he got the template, maybe even talked to the tech support at Google, and they helped him get the template and the ad together, so it worked. And then, so now he's got his ad, right? And he's put in a budget, and it's going to run on sites $10 a day, and it's going to run on sites that have something to do with hats, right? And so now I have a website, and my website is, Southern Arizona hats or whatever. And I want to make some money. So what I do is I get a Google AdSense account. And with an AdSense account, what you do is you tell Google, hey, I want to advertise, I want ads to appear on my site that are in this category, hats. And Google says, okay, here's a little piece of code that you can put anywhere on your website, and wherever that code is, ads will stream in from Google, and they'll be targeted towards the keywords that you said, like hats, right? So if I take that little block of code and I put it up in the header of my website, then all of a sudden ads will start streaming in, and Spike's ad could possibly be one of them, right? And then, it'll show X amount of times on X amount of websites. And then if people click on it, he'll get a little a report that says that somebody clicked, and then it's up to him. Once the people get over to his website, it's based on how well he designed the website, whether or not it creates a sale or not. And so this is what AdSense does. It's the opposite of Google Ads in a sense. They'll bring in specific ads. You can tell them the kind of ads you don't want. Like if you don't want, pornography on your site, they won't do it. If you want ice cream on your site, they'll do that, right? And then here you can see some of the benefits. They're showing you. You get to choose what size and shape of ads you want to appear and stuff like that. So here you can see those traditional sort of squarish boxy ads that appear on desktop and mobile sites. Down here, you see the sort of banner ads that we're used to, right? And so on and so forth, right? Okay, and so that's how it works. Two different sides of the same coin, one for people who want to display ads and one for people who want to make ads, right? Now, I have done Google Ads in the past, and it's a bit of a harrowing process because you can spend a lot of money, and you have, sometimes you don't get any sales. You just get a report that says you spent $300, 10,000 people saw your ad, and 12 of them clicked on your site, or, sometimes it's really grim. But the way to make money using these ads, well, the way to make money is probably to design the ads, because then you get paid whether the people make any money or not. But the trick behind this kind of advertising is consistency. If you set aside an ad budget of 300 or 500 or 1,000 every month, and you just consistently spend that, and then you keep reading the reports, and you keep making tweaks to your ad, to the keywords for your ad, to where your ad is being displayed, eventually you should get results. But you have to play the long game. You can't, the bottom line is, you can't say, I just started a t-shirt company and I want a bunch of t-shirts to sell before Christmas, so I'm going to put $500 worth of advertising into my t-shirts, ads for the month of November, and hope that you will get that $500 back, because you're competing against everybody on the internet in the busiest shopping time of the year. So good luck with that. But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, and then you get better at it. Okay. Anyway, any questions about that? The whole Google Ads thing, or that expandable ad?
No questions.
Okay. So I did want to go back to, the other day we were looking at a student project. We were looking at Livia's Halloween ad, and she was having some problems with the sound on that. And, the sound wasn't playing until the end. And so I did a little research on that, and I'll show you what I came up with. I talked about the fact that when you drag in an audio file, you have a choice over here whether to make it an event or a stream. And Animate recommends that you make it a stream, because what will happen is Animate will respect the audio file more than the graphics. And what it will do is it will slow down or speed up the frame rate of the graphics. It will drop frames or whatever it has to do so that the file ends, the animation ends at the same time as the sound. Now, we did that in Livia's, we changed all of her, she's got music files and special effects files. We changed them all to stream. It didn't seem to help anything, right? The ad still, the sound still ends at, you know, before the animation, you know, regardless of what happens, right? So I read a little more into it, and they said, well, one thing you can do, even though it's not highly recommended, is you can just simply loop the music. And that way, the music will start playing again if the animation hasn't quite finished. So what I did was I clicked on this music file that she had, and what she originally had was she had repeat ×1, and repeat ×1 just means play it once, okay? But when you change this to loop, it will actually play it once, and like the problem we've seen, it will stop, you know, a good 20, 30 seconds before the end, and you just won't have any more sound, right? But when I put it on loop, what it will do is it'll stop at its normal place, but then it'll go back to the beginning and it'll start to play the music again. So you will get music all the way until the end. It won't be the way you had hoped, but it will actually play the music. Now, there is one other issue with this, which is somewhere in this whole mix of sound, there is an audio file that just turns into what we call white noise. It's that shh sound, that like wind sound, right? And what happens is, if we play this right now, you know, the sound will stop at a certain point, it'll start to loop and you'll hear music again. But when it hits the very end of the animation, it will just make that horrible white noise sound, right? Now, let me see if there's anything I can do to stop that. Let me see if it will let me put a stop command at the very end. I don't know if you have one or not, Livia, stop command. Do you have one?
No, I don't have.
You don't have one?
No.
Okay. So let me go down here to the very end of it. Okay, so this is the last frame here.
Mhm. But we can eliminate. I guess that's the layer that is called FX7. Is the last sound, right?
Okay, let's see. Let me go down. You've got all these FX layers, yes?
Yes. Oh no, it's FX4. We can eliminate that.
You want to eliminate that? Okay,
If
great.
it works.
You think that might get rid of the white noise?
No, with the eye doesn't work for sound.
No, not the eye. I know. I mean, I'd have to delete it. But do you think that might be the white noise thing problem, or
because that's the only one that goes to the end.
To the end? Okay. So let's try two things. Let's kill that. All right. And then just for grins, I'm going to put in a stop action here at the very end. So once again, I'll use my little code snippets and do a stop. All right, and now maybe the combination of those two things will kill the white noise, and we're about to find out. Now we'll loop, so we will hear music, and let's see what happens. It's a lengthy animation, so we'll be watching it for a little while, but it's well done, so it's worth watching.
Hilarious.
Now, right here, when it shows this row of women, that's when the sound normally cuts out. And it's going to end. The music will end, and then we'll start up again. Okay, and then it stopped. Okay, good. All right, so good. There were several good things about that. First of all, you know, Olivia, I almost think that one file that we got rid of was the problem,
Okay.
because it actually got rid of the sound at the bottom, but it also, I didn't hear the music loop. I just heard it continue the whole time.
Yes.
So that file was bad and was jacking up the whole thing. So that fixed the problem.
And the buttons are still working?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So we figured out what was going on there.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so I know a couple people joined after we started the class today. So for those of you guys that came in after, do you have any issues with your ads, or do you want some feedback? Do you want to show us anything or ask anything?
I do. This is
Okay,
Latif chiming in.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still struggling with my audio. Like I can't take it off of the event. I have a custom audio track from a friend, so I don't think it's a copyright thing. And then I downloaded an extension to add like an audio component, but when I try to open it, I need AuthorWare to
Oh,
get to it. And it's like drama. So I also read online, it was saying that HTML5, I don't know if it's just mine or these few, but HTML5, you can only do an event. I had to
no,
convert
it's not.
document.
Let's see. Let me see. Hold
Can
on.
you help me? I have the HTML5 in my drive as well as the ActionScript 3, because I went ahead and converted it to an ActionScript 3 just so I could drop an audio track in and check my timing.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's not true that HTML5 can only do event, and the proof is right in front of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with Livia's. I saw you doing it, but on
Yeah,
mine, it's
she's
all
got
grayed out.
she's got a canvas file with HTML5. You can
Mhm.
click on the audio file and it does allow you to do stream. Now, one thing that we did learn today is there is such a thing as a bad audio file that will jack up your track. If you've got, now I know you've had some issues with this music in the past, and you said you got a copy from your friend, but
I got a new song altogether. It's a whole new everything.
well, but something's clearly still wrong with it, because if you imported that sound and put it on a track in HTML5, you should get the ability to change it from event to
I
stream.
don't. It's like all grayed out. I
Well,
tried
now, are you, of course, you have to click directly on the file in the track before you try to change it. Are you doing that?
Let me try again because I created a new HTML5 for it. So let me see. It's driving me insane. Otherwise, I'm going to drop it.
Oh, I wouldn't want to see that happen.
I know, right? Okay, I'm reopening my new one. Bear with me. I'm like, why won't it click? So maybe let me blow up the frame too, so I can.
Do you want to share your screen with us?
I could try. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Let me make it so you can do that. Okay, you should be able to share it. You should be able to share it now.
Okay, let me come down here. Swoop, swoop. Okay. Are you guys seeing this? Do you see me going crazy? You guys see my
We
screen?
can actually see your brain.
Going nuts over this audio file. Okay, I gotta move you guys out of the way. All
Now,
right.
you have the latest version of Animate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm on the audio track
Right.
and I'm clicking literally, I believe, on it. I'll open this. Damn it. Anyways, swoop.
Okay. So I see one thing. Your file is named strangely, and it could jack it up. See how there's a dot in the file name? See that FIO dot dash October ed MP3?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see that. Should I change it?
Well, yeah, you can try changing it there. I don't know if that'll change the actual file name, but go into, let's see, where the heck are your assets in there? I can't see your, let's see, can you get to your library at all? Go down to that library.
This
Yeah,
one?
yeah. Can you change,
Change name here?
yeah, change the name there.
Okay, because that's how the file.
Get rid of all that. There's spaces and there's dashes. Get rid of everything except for just letters.
Okay.
And there's one down there at the end. Okay, that can totally jack things up, though, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Good to know. Should I delete it from the keyframe and drop it again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Maybe just make a, well, delete the whole layer and create a new one.
Sure. I was totally about to jack it up.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are all witnessing this in the flesh. What the flying?
No.
You see that?
I do see it.
That's what I'm having trouble with. So what I was reading is other people were having the same problem, and that's where this extension thing came in.
Or what extension thing came in? You mean the .mp3?
Like I was online and it said you can download an extension to create an audio component, because in Animate, in the components, audio isn't in mine automatically and isn't in the newer version. So you have to like get one. So that's why I just.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Livia's file here, and hers are MP3s, and they're letting me switch to stream.
Yeah, and yours were too on yours last week.
On my demo.
It's just my Animate, and I don't know.
Well, okay. Can you do me a favor? Do
Sure.
you have any other MP3 you can import in that we can try it with?
I
Can
can
you
get one off the internet.
import another MP3 into Adobe Animate?
Sure. Let me go to, what's a website for me, Greg? I need a sound website.
Well, there's bensound.com.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab one from here.
All right.
No. Hell no. Let's do this. I won't even listen to it.
Yeah, don't. It's better not to.
I don't want to know.
You don't need any more brain damage right now.
Ugh. Oh my gosh, turn it off. Make it stop. Bear with me, guys. Where is it playing from?
Are you on a Mac? Is it playing
I
on-
can't hear you guys. I can't hear or see anything. Help! Oh my gosh, where is it playing from?
It's in the quick time.
Where you guys, do you guys see it? I don't see it. Oh my gosh, get it out of my life.
I'm just enjoying the music.
Shut the
There it
fuck
is.
up. Oh my
Damn.
gosh, that just ruined my day. I'm just kidding. Okay, so now we have that, but where is it on the desktop? Probably in my downloads.
Well, do you have a downloads folder?
Yeah, over here.
It probably starts with the words Ben Sound.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm just drawing. I'm using a mouse.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is literally.
Yeah, you're right. So something
bizarre.
is jacked.
I have tried and tried and tried. So I created an action script just so I could keep the progress moving a little bit.
Why is that layer locked? Can you unlock that layer?
Which one? Oh, these?
Oh, no, never mind. It wasn't locked. It wasn't locked. I thought it was. Okay, yeah, there's something jacked up, and you are correct. And I don't know what it is.
Either. So do you think I stopped creating my buttons? I just paused for the cause. But if I create buttons in this action script layer, will they work on the web? Or am I going to have to just maybe drop audio and keep my HTML5?
I'm not sure. You're saying if you drop buttons on an action script layer, will they work?
Like if I converted this HTML5 to an action script so that I could have my audio, and I want to finish my buttons, but will they work? Will this work on the internet, or am I going to have to keep this HTML5 file and maybe just lose the audio for this project?
The Flash file won't work on the internet.
What trickery.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can show you guys what it looks like and what it sounds like.
Okay.
All right.
With the Ben sound.
No. Oh my gosh. I'm deleting that immediately. Come on, Leon. My computer's name is Leon. That's it.
Okay. Well, It looks great and it sounds good, but
No good.
yeah, I can see why you want to keep that audio because it works well with it.
I'm just concerned about any audio with my HTML5s even going forward because of that whole grayed out stream thing I got going on. And
Yeah,
then I can't open the audio component
that is,
extension.
yeah, that's extremely strange. I don't know, I can look into that, Latisse, and see what some of the reasons are for that.
Okay, I've read a lot of different forums and websites, and I've tried a lot of different things. I'm not really sure what to do.
Okay, well, I would say for now, do you have other things that you can do on the ad?
Yeah, I want to make 2 buttons, rollover buttons in the front, so I'll keep trucking with that.
Yeah, try not to spend too much more time on that issue. I'll see if I can look into it and see if I find anything different from what you found.
Okay, I
And
appreciate
then we
it.
can talk about it on Thursday. But I'm sorry you had so much trouble. It
okay.
sucks. Audio is very difficult in this program.
It is. It kind of stinks, man, because I'm an audio freak.
Yeah.
I like music on everything.
Yeah, it definitely is problematic on this program, I'm sorry to say.
Well, good.
Okay, but the good news is it's looking really good.
I used that, what you said, for the eyes on the jack, the dark, the black layer against the yellow layer. I made it a movie clip. So they fade in and fade out.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
That's all I got. I guess I'll stop shirring unless you want me to teach the class. Wait a minute. How do I stop?
If you wouldn't mind, that would be great.
All right. Let me just see here. How do I stop sharing is the real question.
There should be a stop sharing button somewhere.
Did I see it? Down at the bottom. Zoom. Hello.
Yeah, go into Zoom and then there should be some.
Come on. Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? Okay, no, that's just everybody in the class. Why me? Okay, I might have to dip out so that you guys can get back to class. Oh wait, here we go. Boom shakalaka. I don't know how you guys got up there, but
Did you end it?
yeah, I'm out of there. That was scary.
All right. Yeah, we thought we'd be there we'd be stuck on this one stage for the rest of our lives.
Up on that audio timeline track. Golly. Thank you guys.
Okay. All right, you guys, you have the rest of the period to work on your projects. I'll be here. I'll turn my video off, but if you have questions, you can pop in. I'm going to look a little bit into Latisse's MP3 problem and see what's going on. And then, of course, these projects are due on Thursday, so we'll look forward to seeing them then. So go ahead and work on your projects and pop in if you have a question. I'll try and answer it for you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
I hate that when you're like, I paid this much money to eat nothing. One time I bought BK tacos for me and a guy, and they gave me fish instead of shrimp.
Amelia.